Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's time for another installment in our series on the Bible, one book, one verse at a time. Now today we're actually going to be looking at the books of 1st and 2nd Chronicles because again, these were meant to be put together. And in fact, they kind of cover the same history of 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st and 2nd Kings. And you might wonder why so much time was dedicated, or so much book space within the Bible was dedicated to this particular time frame. And it's because, well, it was a defining time frame for these people. It was about the rise of the kings, particularly David and Solomon. It's about the building and the central city of Jerusalem as the capital, and then also the building of the temple of that as well. Now, Chronicles was written after the exile. So most of the traditions say that it was written by Ezra. We don't know for sure, but we do kind of assume that it was written about that time frame. So the people of Judah have come back from Babylon. They're in the land of Israel again. They rebuild the temple, but it's not nearly the same as it was before. And there's this wonder whether God is still with them, whether his promises to David still ring true, whether they're still his people after the great failing and then the exile. Are they still God's people there? And so the chronicler goes through the history, and he doesn't really change anything, but he definitely gleans certain things, and he puts certain things in order to give the people confidence that God is still with him. And so you'll notice as you read through this book, his discussion of David and Solomon are cleaned up quite a bit. There's no discussion of David's sins or Solomon's sins, or the ways that they fall away from God. They're designed as almost kind of prototypes of the coming Messiah, this anointed king who would come from their line. And the chronicler emphasizes particularly the building of the temple and the giving and of the law, God's instructions, the following of the law to his people, and then also emphasizes the role of the prophets, more so than the other history books. And in a lot of ways, this is all about encouraging the people to trust God, to trust his instructions for them, even in the middle of this time frame when they don't really know what's going on. They don't have a king, they don't have a land, they don't have anything else, but they do have the city, Jerusalem, again, and they do have the temple again, and they can follow God. And the chronicler emphasizes the importance of all of the people to follow God's instructions for them. And they don't rest so much blame on the kings like maybe 1st and 2nd Samuel and 1st and 2nd Kings does. I think one of the key verses, and you can pick a whole bunch out of this, but one of the key verses that emphasizes this call to trust in God actually comes from 2nd Chronicles 20, verse 20. Early in the morning, they left for the desert of Tekoa. This is a time frame in which Jehoshaphat, one of the kings of Judah, is actually going out to meet an army that is coming to help destroy them from Moab and from other places. And they've inquired of the Lord, and they want to know what's going to happen. And God says, just go out, but don't fight. I'll take care of this for you. And he says that through one of the prophets in this meeting that they had. And as they're going out, Jehoshaphat says to the people, listen to me, Judah and the people of Jerusalem. Have faith, trust in the Lord your God, and you will be upheld. Have faith in his prophets, and you will be successful. And this is essentially the key message that the chronicler wants to give to the people of Israel, or people of Judah, actually, at this point, as they have returned back from exile in Babylon. He wants to encourage them to have faith, to trust in God, and to trust in his prophets, to listen to them, to be reminded of the ways in which God has been with the people in the past, and to be open to this challenge and call to come back to him. I think this is a great message for all of us as well. As Christians, we believe that Jesus has come as the Messiah and he has brought the kingdom of God here on earth, while at the same time we wait for the fullness of it to be here. And in the meantime, we have him and we have God's promises, and we should then trust in him and trust in those who are placed in our lives to help call us back to a right way of living. As always, if this has been useful for you, I'd encourage you to like and to subscribe to this channel. And maybe note down below in the comments one of the ways in which you find the Chronicles surprising compared to the other history books.